Happy Sunday, November 28th. Welcome to NFL Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio. It's been a long time on this show since we've started this Sunday where I'm in the black on the season. 2-1 on Thursday. Chicago, Detroit under 41.5 cashed very easily. Las Vegas, Dallas under 50.5 did not. But Raiders plus 7.5 cashed very easily. So sitting 73 and 65, 52.9%, plus 0.65 units, plus 0.47%. Average line minus 111. Look, I want to be much better than that. But at least we start in the black. I'm so excited to be here. We have a great show for you guys. We have Bebsy making his triumphant return here as our first guest. Then RazorSharpPicks. We haven't seen him since week 5. It's going to be great to have him back on the show. Then Flash joining us again, currently our 6th ranked capper on NFL Pop-Up. Then Clint, star of the DieHard MMA podcast, is rocketed up to 3rd overall. 19 cappers have graced this show. And Clint is ranked 3rd, so we're bringing him back again. He was here with us last week. This will be his 4th appearance. Then Billy Briz, he had a heartbreaking loss 2 weeks ago on a big parlay. And it was 3 different running backs that go over 40 yards. And 2 of them did very easily. The 3rd running back hit 39 yards. If he had to cash that, he would be net ranked number 1 on our show. Briz, my man, is ranked number 2, though, just 0.45 units out of first place, which is held by Jacksonville Zoe. Then we have the big Ragu to close it all up. I'm so excited to be here. So thankful to be here with you guys. Thank you all for joining us. Real Deal Prime is the Lizard King, just like old Jimbo Morrison. Maybe the best Jim. TC ready to go. Jim Brown's the best Jim. Todd Hilton in the house. There's Dan Kelly. Says, watching betting with the bag better than having hot water. He has no hot water in his house this morning. So he'll fix that. Look, he's a doer. He's a fixer. Max on record in the house. We got Rocks. We got Viper MB. Nut Flush Allen. RazorSharpPicks. Can't wait to have him back in action. Mr. Fun Monk. Ron Walsek ready to rock. Says Colts and Giants moneyline parlay. Ooh, Ron. Oh, Ron. I love that. That's so exciting. I'll go over what I have left on the card here in a second. I just wanted to say hi to all you guys. This show is nothing without these great cappers in the chat, sharing their insights, sharing their humor. There's DJ Big Boss, Williams Wrestling, Steve, Armchair MMA, Mark Schillingberg, Lee Federchak, T today, 5875 coming off a 4-0 college football day. Nice work. Jedi for Life, Raymond Reichart. What a great group. Puzzler, TJ Parks, Jared TG. Thank you guys all so much for joining us, man. We are so much better with you guys rocking with us. All right, so 2-1 to start. We're going for our 5th straight winning week. We got off the season to a nice start. Then things fell apart on us. Then we've been climbing back up. This is what I have left, and we'll go over just the comfort in these bets. Dolphins plus 105. Look, it's sort of gone against me. It got up to plus 2.5, but the money line didn't change at plus 110. So I could have got slightly better. It's moved back to 1.5 at Pinnacle. We'll go over all the market moves. I'm very comfortable with the spot. Carolina, Miami under 42. I'm quite comfortable with the spot. Tennessee, New England Patriots under 44.5. I'm very comfortable. Broncos team total over 22.5. Very comfortable. Rams minus 105. If I wanted that right now, it's minus 130 in my book. So I beat that market move by 25 cents. Feel very good about that. Rams team total over 23.5. A little less comfortable than I was. That is my action. If I was going to add anything, I wanted the Broncos at plus 3, but I didn't want the minus 125 juice that came with it on Tuesday. It did go down to minus 120, and I still didn't move on it. Now it's 2.5, but it looks like it's veering back in that direction. The 3, though, right now in my book is minus 138. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. The 49ers minus 3 at minus 120 is very interesting. I have not pulled the trigger on it, but I am very interested in it. Unlike last week, we don't have enormous news coming in for just the headline injury reports. A.J. Brown ruled out with a chest injury, so we know Julio Jones is out. Derrick Henry gone. So this offense may have a tough time against the Pats defense that looks so good. But it is a buy low spot on this team. in saying all that, I'm only on that under 44.5 and won't be adding to anything there. TJ Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick are back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Jets won't have Michael Carter available. That's about it. There's Mike M ready to go. Coco Bongo in the house. Tony Hill, Damon Santori, Birmingham Savage says Rams and Panthers. Thank me later. Mark Schellenberg hit a plus 8,998 plus 8,998 parlay Friday night. Hit all the legs straight up too. Oh, God, that's gorgeous, Mark. Way to go. Terry Walker, Big Joe. Love seeing Big Joe rolling with us. Dan Kelly, Nate Dogg, Lance LaRose, TC. Let's get to work, fellas. Thank you so much for joining us here on Sunday Pub Hub. Our first guest of the show making his triumphant return off of a winning Week 11. He went 5-4 plus 1.37 units. He has not put out any action earlier in the week. He made his first bets last night. We will go over them right now. Fresh from a triumphant tour of Western Canada. And now back in the 6 where it's snowing and beautiful outside. It's hard to see the homeless and garbage fires through the blizzard. Please welcome to the show my man and yours, Mr. Rob Bebenek in the house. Bebsy, how are you, my man?
I'm back.
Yes, you are.
What's happening, buddy?
You are. You know, we took a lot of heat for that. A lot of people were very upset with how we treated.
Dog's going up. Wait, we took a lot of heat because we ripped Cam?
Yeah, we took a lot of heat. A lot of people were like shitting on us, and some people were like, "He makes more money than you guys." What's that have to do with anything? Who cares?
Okay.
Who cares? I'm like, yeah, nobody's saying he's broke, man. But yeah, we took a lot of heat, but it is nice to have you back, Bebsy. And I understand why your dog would be scared when you make that voice. When you
yeah, she just bolted.
Yeah, I get it. Let's get right to work, Bebsy. You're coming off a winning week. Let's string these winning weeks together. You've given us sides and props, but I want to go through the 1 p.m. games first. So we're going to kind of go back and forth here.
Okay.
Let's get to work. We're going to start with the most interesting game of the day. And I want you to know that many cappers have moved on this game. And you're going to hear a lot about it here on the show. Now, first off, nobody got as good of a line as Bebsy. Bebsy, we struck at the absolute perfect moment for when you locked in the Colts because I couldn't believe there was a plus 3.5 on the board. And that was at Bet365. I knew it was legit. You know, I went to the site to double check. Like I knew it was legit. I clicked on it. It was available to bet right. I couldn't believe it was plus 3.5. Shocked. You are on the Colts plus 3.5. Let's talk a little bit about this. And by the way, Ragu, who's on last on this show, is also going to talk about Bucks Colts. And I don't know who he's on, but I know who everybody else is on. Let's get this one started. Buccaneers opened up at minus 2.5 and minus 107. They're now minus 3 at plus 103. So that plus 3.5 that you got last night at minus 115 has completely changed. It is now. Oh, it's not that. Okay, sorry. I thought it was down to minus 1.5. It's just plus 3 at the same juice, minus 115. So you got that very, very, very important hook here. This total opened up at 51. It's gone all the way up to 53. When we go over to see where the cash lies in this giant game, Colts, Buccaneers. Sorry, it's just loading up for me. We have 43,944 tickets. 35% of the tickets, 44% of the cash on the Colts. Feels like a sharp spot. Then you have 35% of the tickets, 67% of cash on the under, and yet it's creeped up to 53. Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis, Indiana. Buccaneers wide receiver Antonio Brown, ankle out. Offensive guard Ali Marpet, abdomen doubtful. Vita Vea, knee. Linebacker Demo White, quad questionable. For the Colts, you have Darius Leonard and Quentin Nelson, ankle injuries on the injury report is questionable, but they're both going to be playing and will be out on the field. Take it away, Bebsy, your first game on the card, Buccaneers, Colts.
Well, I hate to oversimplify it, but I'm just fading the Bucs on the road again. They've been horrendous on the road. The Colts have been looking good. Colts have been surging mid-season. They've been looking like a complete team, and the Bucs struggle on the road. If you're going to give me 3.5 points, I'm jumping Indy all day. It's nice to know that some hot cappers, some sharp cappers have Colts money line. That just makes me feel even better about it. But yeah, the Bucs have been horrendous on the road. I am fading them. It's that simple.
Lamont Williams, who's been with us since the very beginning down in Costa Rica, even before I went down to Costa Rica, and his max bets are must-know information on our shows. He is on parlay Tampa Bay money line in the game going over. So he's against those two moves there. Mystic Sosa in the house. He's on Gronk anytime touchdown. Benjamin Martin says never fade the GOAT. Well, look at the GOAT's road record here so far this year. He's 2-3 on the road, under 500 on the road, Ben. But I hear, we saw what happened around this time last year. Slatsy's on Chris Godwin, touchdown plus 130. I'll tell you what, Bebsy, I'm pretty fortunate to not have action in this game. Just sit back and watch it and enjoy it. I feel very good. I've got a ton of actions. I'm not, not a ton. I only have 6 bets live right now, but I have enough action for me to be very, very comfortable. Very quickly, Bebsy, I know you're not moving on this total, but I find it interesting that it looks like the sharp bets are on the under, but it's climbed up to 53. If you had a free bet right now, $500 to make on the total, would you go over or under 53?
I think I would go under. To be honest with you, again, this is all about how bad the Bucs have been on the road. They don't operate very well. They're 2-3, but I'm pretty sure they haven't beaten the spread yet on the road. They've just not been the same football team on the road. So if you expect the Bucs to be slow, putting up points, I expect Indy as well. So free play, I'm taking the under.
Free play taking the under. Okay, let's move on to your next spot on the board. It is another side. We will be going into your player props here in a second. We go to Tennessee Titans, 8-3, 4-1 on the road at New England Patriots, 7-4, 2-4 at home, Gillette Stadium, Foxborough, Massachusetts, 39 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour. We talked about A.J. Brown being out. He's not the only one out for this Titans team that's missing 9 regulars. Offensive guard Nate Davis, linebacker Rashawn Evans, linebacker David Long Jr., running back Jeremy McNichols, defensive tackle Tier Tart, all out. Outside linebacker Ola Adeniyi is a hamstring injury. Linebacker Jane Brown quad. Cornerback Greg Maben ankle. Tight end Jeff Swaim concussion. Cornerback Elijah Molden groin, all questionable. Now we know how the Patriots work. They add all these guys as questionable each week. They're all expected to be in the lineup. They include the only one that we weren't sure really about was Hunter Henry, but he's expected to be in the lineup. But Juwan Bentley's on this list, Trent Brown, Dante Hightower, Jonnu Smith, Ramondre Stevenson. We all expect them to be in the lineup. Okay, so let's take a look at the market. So this opened with these Patriots as 5.5-point favorites, and now it's 7.5. Now they are 7.5-point favorites. A Bebsy moved last night on the Titans plus 7.5 at minus 118. He could have lost the juice if he wanted to, if he had waited. Could have waited, but it's minus 118. It's not horrible. And then when we go over to the cash flow in this spot, 42,620 tickets in, 53% of the tickets, 69% of the cash is on the Patriots. Then 37% of tickets, 62% of the cash is on the under. And this under opened up at 44.5. That's where I got it. And it's now at 43. Bebsy, take it away. Your next look on the board, very ballsy to back these Titans plus 7.5.
Listen, I know all the injuries. I know how ludicrous this bet might feel, but listen, I've been burned more than once fading a Mike Vrabel coach team when I thought there's no chance. It seems like that's when these guys really show up. So I'm putting stock in their defense today. Look for big old Jeffrey Simmons to be crashing through that line. And I just think low-scoring affair, and Tennessee hangs around. Yeah, I think New England's probably going to win this game. I think, obviously, Bill Belichick, he's a pretty good coach too. So I just thought it was too many points to bet against this Tennessee Titans team. This is still an 8-3 football team. Yeah, we're not seeing most of their starters on offense, but I'm counting on their defense today to get it done and keep this game close.
And why aren't you on the under? Do you feel like you just missed the opportunity at 44.5 and you don't want it at 43?
Yeah, I think I just lost value. I maybe waited too long, and I do still think this is very much going to be an under game. I can't bet it now.
Next spot for you on the board, 1 p.m. Eastern, Carolina Panthers 5-6, 3-2 on the road. Miami Dolphins 4-7, 2-3 at home. We're at Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida, 74 Fahrenheit. Partly cloudy, 5 miles per hour. Panthers are a healthy squad right now. Just guard Johnny Miller, ankle doubtful. For the Dolphins, defensive back Elijah Campbell, toe, knee. Tight end Adam Shaheen, knee. Cornerback Trill Williams, hamstring are all out. Safety Brandon Jones, ankle, elbow, questionable. And, of course, still waiting on Fuller and Devontae Parker. But you have made a move, and this player prop does make sense, especially with all of the Dolphins' weaknesses offensively. Now, I'm on the Dolphins. I'm on the Dolphins here comfortably. Market hasn't gone with me, but I'm not concerned. I'm also on the under. That makes me a little bit nervous, but Pinnacle has now moved it to 41. I didn't get in at the best number at 43. I got in at 42. And then Carolina opening up at -1 at -115. Money's moving quickly towards the Miami Dolphins. This was a 2.5-point spread at one point yesterday. And now Carolina at Pinnacle's -1 at +101. So I love what's happening here. THC is RZA is leaning over. I guess of the 6 spots I have right now, which I like them all, I'm a little uncomfortable with the over. A little tiny bit uncomfortable because it's such a low number. But I think I can get there. Let's just go over to the cash flow and see if that rides with us right now. We have 35,697 tickets in. 67% of the tickets, 67% of the cash on the Panthers, and then 69% of the tickets, 50% of the cash on the over. That's good. I like 31% of tickets on the under, 50% of cash on the under. That makes me feel good. Feel good there. Terry Walker with me on Miami. Bebsy, you are on a player prop here. Take it away.
Well, first of all, I mean, you see this Miami team, they're now 4-7. It wasn't that long ago that they had one win. They were looking abysmal. They're starting to put it together. I mean, it might be a little bit late for them, but listen, I understand why people are on Miami here. I'm on the Gesicki prop because I think he's their best weapon. I also think he's a bit of a safety valve for both quarterbacks. And that number was just real low, and it was too juicy for me to stay off of, especially when I look at Carolina. And, it's not like they still have Luke Kuechly, who's going to be guarding Gesicki. Like, what are you going to do? Drop in Stephon Gilmore? Well, then you're leaving Waddle out there on his own. So I just like the matchup here, and I think I have a very attainable number for his receiving yards here.
And you're going back to the well. You went 5-4 last week plus 1.37 units, but you were very close to going 6-3. You lost this Gesicki prop by 1.5 yards. He was at 51.5 and he went to 50. So you're going back to the well here. And I like that you're going back to the well. You have two more player props, and then we have a total to close this out. So let's keep rolling. We got Bebsy back in action with us. Your next spot on the board is a player prop in Falcons, Jags. Falcons 4-6, 3-2 on the road. Jaguars 2-8, 2-4 at home. We're at TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, Florida. 63 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 5 miles per hour. For the Falcons, defensive lineman Jonathan Bullard, ankle. Defensive back Kendall Sheffield, hamstring are out. Cordero Patterson is a game-time decision. I don't know if anyone knows the latest information on Cordero, but we don't know at this point. And Deion Jones has a shoulder injury. This is a pretty healthy Jaguar squad. Shaquille Griffin concussion out. They're coming off an awful day against the Niners. And I've stayed off of this game. Atlanta opening up at -1. They're now -1.5 at Pinnacle, and 2s are on the board. This total at 46. In my NFL pools, I have taken the Jaguars, and I think I'm going to lose it. Maybe I should switch it in my pools, but I'm not betting this game. This game makes me very uncomfortable. When we go over to the cash flow, we have 25,143 tickets in. But this makes me feel better. 30% of the tickets, 57% of the cash is on the Jags. 44% of the tickets, 86% of the cash is on the over. You are going to a player prop here, Bebsy. Take it away.
Well, again, this might be me oversimplifying things, but I think Robinson is one of the best young backs in the NFL. I don't think I'm going to get too much controversy for saying that. And he's coming off a terrible week. He's coming off a week in which the Niners shut him down. I don't think Atlanta, especially with Deion Jones out, I don't think they have the defense. I don't think they have the speed to shut him down. So again, a very nice number for a running back of that skill level coming off a terrible game. So I think a bit of a buy low spot. It didn't fully reflect his game, but yeah, I love this spot right. I think Robinson goes off today.
We've seen running backs go off on the Atlanta Falcons week in and week out. And it was the one player prop where because I've been trying my hardest not to bet any player props this year, but there's one player prop that I wish I probably should have been betting each week. And here you are. Robinson, over 65.5 rush yards, minus 115. One more player prop for Bebsy here, 1 p.m. Eastern. Philadelphia Eagles, 5-6, 4-2 on the road. Giants, 3-7, 2-3 at home. We're at MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. And I do have the weather here on some of these games. I don't know why I don't have it here up. On some of these Giants breakdowns. So I'll pull that out here in a second. Nothing major weather-wise. For the Eagles, running back Jordan Howard, knee is out. Cornerback Tate Gowan, quad, questionable. For the Giants, fullback Gillespie, calf, and Sterling Shepard, quad. Tight end Caden Smith, out. Kyle Rudolph, ankle. Kadarius Toney, quad, doubtful. Saquon Barkley, ankle. John Ross, quad, questionable. There it is, 42 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 5 miles per hour is the wind. And when we go over to the cash here, the Eagles opened up at 3.5, and they're now 4. 46s across the board, some 45.5, some 45s. This game I found very difficult, and I initially actually was in my pools on the Giants. I did switch this morning to the Eagles, but I do not feel comfortable to make a bet on this spot here. 69% of the tickets, 80% of the cash on the Eagles. Maybe they are just a blatantly obvious bet here. 34% of the tickets, 72% of cash is on the under. And I just find this game tough. You're using a player prop here in this spot. Take it away, Bebsy.
Yeah, a little more unusual player prop for me. I got Daniel Jones at 17.5 rush yards. And the reason I went with this is because, look, I think Philadelphia is going to apply some pressure. I think Daniel Jones is going to have to take off. And I read an interesting stat, and they were actually comparing both of these quarterbacks, and they're running. I got to check this because it seems outrageous, but they're averaging 25 yards a carry, these two guys, for their career, which, again, doesn't feel right, but they had a whole bunch of these two quarterbacks just taking off. And all I thought was, well, if that's the case, all he's got to do is average one run. But I do think we're going to have, it's a divisional match, so we're going to have a bit of a dogfight here. And I see Daniel Jones taking off more than once, and he's got deceptive speed. He's a lot faster than people think. Yeah, sometimes he trips and falls on his face when he's alone by himself running towards the end zone. Let's hope he doesn't do that when he's at 16 yards. Well, in that case, he'd fall forward to 17.5 yards. I think Daniel Jones can get that number done today. A divisional game, he's going to be going balls out, and I think he fights for those 18 yards is the magic number.
Wildly interesting. This has been getting hammered. So it's now 19.5 at Bet365. So it's been getting hammered. Kyle JL, great to have you back in action. Nice to see you, man. All right. Jones over 17.5 rush yards. Vitalis saying, giving you a prop. Jalen Hurts of the Eagles will have over 49.5 rushing yards. Hit that mark in week 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. That's from Vitalis. Okay. Final spot for Bebsy on the board here. 4:25 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Rams 7-3. Oh, sorry. I have the. Okay. Let me just fix that here. Sorry. 7-3. 4-1 on the road. Green Bay Packers 8-3, 4-0 at home. Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin. I felt this was the best bet on the board on Tuesday night, and I got the Rams at minus 105. They're now minus 130. Look, Aaron Rodgers is capable of not practicing all week on a fractured toe and still delivering the goods. I just feel like this was the perfect buy low opportunity on the Rams in a spot where the Packers at 8-3, where their only competition in the division is the Vikes at 5-5, who are playing at San Francisco, are in a great place to possibly even rest Aaron Rodgers, which they're not doing. For the Rams, Dante Dion, thigh, cornerback, is questionable. For the Packers, Bakhtiari still out with the knee injury. That hurts them. Malik Taylor, abdomen out. Kevin King, doubtful. Rashawn Gary, elbow. Aaron Jones, knee. Wide receiver, Alan Lazard, shoulder, all questionable. This pass rush just clearly not the same without Rashawn Gary and, of course, Adarian Smith and Whitney Merciless out long-term. You are on a total here. You got a nice number. This total opened up at Sorry, let me grab it. Sorry, this total opened up at 48 and went down to 46.5, 47. It went down to 46. That's where you got in. So this is coming back up now. And the Rams are now 2 and 2.5 point favorites. I love that. Bebsy, take it away. Your last spot on the board.
Look, again, hate to oversimplify too much today, but look, these are two offenses, both born from the same system. I think they're both going to show off a little bit today. Obviously, the Rams defense is healthier and just more complete in general. But I think Aaron Rodgers, broken toe or not, is going to be able to put up points. I think both of these teams are more than capable of putting up points. I think the Rams are going to get their shit together this week because, look, they're still a great football team. Yeah, they've been struggling a bit. Birdie's convinced that Stafford's going through some back issues. Maybe he is, but I believe both of these quarterbacks, injured or not, are going to be able to put up a ton of points today. And I see a relatively high-scoring game, so I feel like this cash is easy.
You got it at the absolute perfect time, 46 at minus 112. There's Shy Archie in the house from the Chirac joining us. I like where you got the number. I'm on the team total over for the Rams. I got that at 23.5. I'm really
like that too.
In this game. Dust Taker says 200 quarterbacks doesn't matter. Yeah, there was an article that just came out breaking down Stafford's injuries. Dust Taker says, does it matter? Watching these guys over their careers, it hasn't. It just hasn't. So it could matter here, and they'll always take a hit that knocks them out, but it just hasn't.
Look, two injured quarterbacks. If it's Sam Darnold and I don't know, Nate Peterman, I'm gonna probably worry about that. But this is Stafford and Rodgers. One for sure Hall of Famer, the other who knows. But yeah, these guys are both excellent players in excellent offenses. So yeah, sure, I'd like them to be 100%. They're not. I'm okay with that. I think they'll be fine.
Your timing for action was very good. You got really nice numbers. Colts plus 3.5 minus 115. Titans plus 7.5 minus 118. Rams, Packers over 46 at minus 112. Gesicki over 42.5 receiving yards at minus 110. Robinson over 65.5 rush yards at minus 115. Jones over 17.5 rush yards. I expect a winning week out of those picks. I think you have a nice looking card, and I expect winning week after winning week after winning week for you, Bebsy. You're going to light fire. You're going to catch fire in the second half. Thank you so much for rolling with us, Bebsy. Catch Bebsy on Twitter. Follow him at Rob_Bebenek. It's great to have you back in action. Can't wait to cap the card with you Tuesday, Bebsy. Any last words for these great cappers supporting the show?
Oh, just thanks for getting up early on a Sunday and joining us, buds? Thank you.
There he is, Rob Bebenek in the house. We move from Rob Bebenek to a capper who is white hot right now. I'm so excited to have him back on the show. I know you guys all love capping with him as much as I do. Please welcome to the show, RazorSharpPicks in the house. Razor, what's happening, my man?
What's going on, Jimmy? What's up, chat? It's good to be back. I know last time I was on, my top play was actually against the Packers, and we ended up pushing. So I think I'm 0 for on the show, so I got some work to do. I got some good plays today, and I'm ready to get it back.
Oh, I believe in you. We're excited to have you back in action. Let's get right to work, Razor. We start at 1 p.m. Eastern. Pittsburgh Steelers 5-4-1, 2-2 on the road. Cincinnati Bengals 6-4, 2-2 at home. Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. Nice weather in Cincy, 43 Fahrenheit, sunny, some wind, 13 miles per hour. Eric Ebron, knee, Hassenauer, their offensive lineman, pectoral, they're both out. Joe Hayden, foot is questionable, but Minka back, TJ Watt back. For the Bengals, they're a healthy group. They have Auden Tate, wide receiver, who's doubtful with a thigh injury. We haven't talked about this game as of yet, so let's do just that. We have Cincinnati opening up at minus 3.5. This went up to 4.5. Let's see how Pinnacle's done it. So it went up to, when did it go up to 4? Pinnacle never brought it to 4.5, but they brought it up to 4. So it was at 4 from the 25th through the 26th, and then now back to 3.5. And this was another game that I was very afraid of. This total opened up at 45 and it's dropping. Pinnacle has it right now at 43.5. 41,800 tickets in, 38% of the tickets and 41% of the cash on the Bengals. A lower number than I was expecting. And because of it, I pretty comfortably stayed off. 60% of tickets, 66% of cash on the over. That also surprised me. Here we go, Razor Sharp Picks. You have a... Oh, shit. Did I have this right? Sorry, you don't have... I'm calling out the wrong game, aren't I?
No, I'm good.
Oh, no, because you just have a total on this game.
Yep.
Sorry, you have a total on this game. I meant because the other one, your side is on the Browns game, and I mistakenly didn't even list the Browns game. So my fault. We have Dell producing the show today, and if you could queue up a Browns graphic for the Browns game, if you could queue that up, Dell. I'm not sure if you can. We'll go into that next. My fault here. Okay, Razor, take it away. You have a total in this game, Steelers-Bengals.
Yeah, Steelers-Bengals, like you said, it opened up at 46.5. It's down to 44, what I got it at. I think you said 43.5. Everyone is betting the over. I had 54% of the cash and 67% of the tickets on the over, but yet they're making the line even better for the public. They dropped it. It's now 2.5, now 3 points almost, a whole field goal. So let me tell you some reasons why this game is going to stay under. First of all, the Steelers offense averages 90.7 rushing yards a game, which is ranked 27th in the league. And then on the other side of the ball, you have the Bengals defense, and they only allow 98 rushing yards per game, which ranks them 6th in the NFL. So really, I don't see how the Steelers are going to run the ball here, which means they're going to have to pass the ball. When Roethlisberger passes a lot, it's not good for him. He's more of a running game kind of QB, and he has to air it out a couple times. He does. But when he does it too much, I think that's when he turns over the ball. So I like the under here. And a couple other reasons is the last time they faced the Bengals, Ben actually threw 58 times, and he did throw 2 interceptions. And then the Steelers offense, they only averaged 328 total yards a game and 237.3 in passing. So no running equals more passing, which means more turnovers for me. And then Mike Tomlin, he's a good coach, and he's still a good coach. He's going to be having the Steelers defense pumped up, as they did get embarrassed in their last game at home, 24-10 earlier this year. And then a couple trends for this game. The under is actually 42-14-1 in the Steelers' last 57 road games. It's also 8-3-1 to the unders in the Steelers' last 12 games as a road underdog, and it's 7-3 in their last 10 games overall. And also, the under is 5-1-1 in the last 7 meetings between these two teams. So I locked it in, Steelers-Bengals under 44.
Under, yeah, and we can get you a 44. We can get you a 44 here at -110 available at Sports Interaction. Let's move on to the next spot on your board. And I apologize, Del, that I messed up the schedule here. But this is the Sunday Nighter, and people have been shying away from the Sunday Nighter. Browns, Ravens. Ravens open up at -3.5. There are 3s now on the board, which is wild. Pinnacle never moved it off the 3.5. But right now, if you want the Browns plus 3.5 at Pinnacle, it's at -122. So it looks like the Browns are going to be moving to 3 here shortly. Wow, this total opened up at 46.5. It's now at 47. This was another spot that I stayed off. And my instinct initially was bias because of what I saw from the Browns last week. And I understood it was a bias. And when I saw a lot of sharp cappers on the Browns, I thought just stay away if it's messing you up, or move over to the Browns. Or sorry, to the Browns. Yeah. 57% of tickets, 59% of cash is on the Ravens. And 50% of tickets and 57% of cash is on the under. This is a wildly interesting game. I'm so happy you're talking about it. Take it away, Razor, the Sunday Nighter, Ravens, Browns.
Well, first, I got to press the button real quick because this is a GFG play. So I'm going to press the button for you. Everybody knows how a gambler's first glance works. It's where at first glance, you're looking over the entire card and you see a play and you want to bet it without even handicapping it. because it looks like an easy winner, but not so fast. After more digging into this game, more handicapping this game, I'm actually on the Browns here plus 3.5. The line opened up for me. I saw fours. The line dropped to 3.5. Yet 55% of the cash is on the Ravens. 69% of the tickets are on the Ravens. Yet the line has moved in the Browns' favor. You got to think Sunday night, Ravens are back. Lamar Jackson's back. Everyone is going to be hammering the Ravens, and that's exactly what they're doing, but not so fast. The Browns are going to come here and I believe cover, and I believe they can actually sprinkle on the money line here. Also, first glances, you have to think Ravens lead the series 33-11. They've won 3 straight. Last year, the Ravens swept the Browns, and they won 38-6 at home and 47-42 on the road. So, clear eye, first glance, Ravens, lock it in, right? Wrong. We're going to lock in the Browns plus 3.5 here. Chubb returned last week. He had 130 yards on 22 carries. He averaged 5.9 per carry. Yes, it was against the Lions, but I think he can do it against the Rams as well. We also have Kareem Hunt coming back. And also, I'm not sure if a lot of people know, but the right tackle, Jack Conklin, returned from the IR. So I think that's big for the Browns' offensive line. Also, the Cleveland's offense is ranked number 1 in rushing yards at 156.8 yards a game. And I think they can do the same thing here with the Browns. A couple trends for this game as well. Some big key trends. The Browns, they're 5-0 against the spread the last 5 road games versus a team with a winning record. Also, the road team is 4-1 against the spread the last 5 meetings between these two teams. And then the Ravens, they're 2-6 against the spread the last 8 games as a favorite. And they're also 1-6 against the spread the last 7 home games versus a team with a winning record. So even if the Ravens do win here by a field goal, I'll still cover. But I think the Browns can cover here and if not, win outright. So I'm on the Browns plus 3.5.
Browns plus 3.5, and there's only one left. It says on a couple books that there are 3.5 left, but they're not. I just went to the actual sites. Pinnacle's the only 3.5 left, and it's going to cost you. And I unfortunately, I hate that we hurt. But you did actually, wait a minute. I take that back. You did tweet out your card.
Yeah, I sent my play out early this morning.
You did tweet out your card, so you do get that plus 3.5 and minus 110. Okay, you did tweet out your card, so I take that back. Plus 3.5, minus 110 there. All right, let's roll on Browns plus 3.5 for RazorSharpPicks. Now we move on to Tennessee Titans at New England Patriots, Gillette Stadium, Foxborough, Massachusetts, 39 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour. We talked about the injuries off the top of the show for the Titans. There is a ton of them. And the Patriots, as always, just have all these guys questionable. Is it a buy low spot for the Titans, even though they're dealing with all these injuries? Now 7.5s on the board. This total opened up at 44.5 at Pinnacle. It's now at 43. Take it away, Razor.
Like you said, the total dropped again. This total opened up at 46.5. It's down to 43.5. It's 69% of the cash is on the over, and also 60% of the tickets. The Titans' offense is ranked 15th in total yards at 354.1, and they're 21st in passing yards at 225.1. And then on the other side of the ball, you have the Patriots' defense, who they're ranked in the top 5. They're ranked number 3 in total yards at 313.2, and they're ranked 6th in passing yards at 211.5. So really, I don't see how the Titans are going to score much here. Especially without Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, and Julio, I just don't know how their offense is going to come. They're going to want to pass the ball, but like I said, A.J. Brown and Jones is out, so it's going to be hard for them to do that. So they're going to try and look to just run the ball, and that's what the Patriots are good at stopping. So really, I don't know how the Titans are going to score many points here at all. And then also the Titans, they ran for 103 yards last week. So I think that's going to be their same approach. They're going to try and run the ball. They're going to try and control the clock, and they're not going to try and turn the ball over because the Patriots are ranked number 3 in takeaways. So the Patriots are going to be looking for the turnover. So I believe the Titans are going to play smart, play it slow. They're going to run the clock, and that means they're just going to run the ball. And I don't think this one's going to go over the total. Also, I have some big key trends for this game. The under is 4-0 in the Patriots' last 4 home games versus a team with a winning road record. Under is also 5-1 in the Patriots' last 6 November games. And also the under is 9-3 in the Patriots' last 12 games following a win.
I love it. I'm on this as well. I moved on this on Tuesday. I think it's a excellent look for us that I expect to cash. You got 43.5. I got 44.5. Pinnacle opened it at 44.5. So I thought, I didn't realize that it opened up at Bet Online and those other books at 46.5. So that great stuff. There's Ski Profit in the house. Ski, if you tweet out your card, you make it official here. That's what we've made as for the show. So if anybody wants, because we have the guys betting player props to tweet out their lines. So it's I have to give that caveat available for people who are going to be on the show. But I hear what you're saying, Ski. Okay, so we're going to move on. We are going to move on here. Next spot for RazorSharpPicks is, we move over to the Panthers-Dolphins spot that we have talked about on this show already. We've gone over the injuries. Panthers, a very healthy squad. And Carolina, Miami here, the total opening up at 43, and it's dropped to 41 at most. They're saying there's a 42 at Sports Interaction. I will look for that. Carolina opening up at -1, and they are 1s and 1.5s on the board. But this went all the way up to 2.5. Take it away, Razor. Panthers, Dolphins.
Again, like you said, the total opened up at 43.5. It's dropped to 41.5 now, I believe, at some spots. I did lock in 42. 58% of the cash is on the over. 61% of the tickets are on the over, yet the line is dropped. So the Sharps are hitting the under as well. Both teams have played 11 games this year, and 7 of them have gone under for both teams. So both teams are actually 7-4 to the under, and I believe it happens here again. The Panthers' defense is ranked number 2 in total yards against at 288.7 yards, and Miami's offense is ranked 26 total yards at 310.5 yards a game. Carolina's defense is ranked number 1 in passing yards at 174.2, and Miami's offense is ranked number 17 in passing yards at 233.1. So it's kind of like the opposite here. The Miami's offense is really bad, and the Carolina's defense is really good. So I don't expect the Panthers to let up a lot of points here, and I think that favors the under here. I also have some big key trends for both teams. The under is 10-4 in the Panthers' last 14 games. It's what they like to do. They like to control the clock. They run the ball, and it leads to a lot of unders, which all their games prove. They're also 5-2, the under in the last 7 road games, and their under is 5-1 in the Panthers' last 6 games when they're a favorite. And then the trends for the Dolphins, they're 4-0 to the under in their last 4 games and 8-2 in their last 10 versus a team with a losing record. So I locked in Panthers-Dolphins under 42.
I'm on that as well from Tuesday. I love the spot. Your next game and final one on the card is this fascinating Buccaneers Indianapolis Colts spot. We've already gone over the injuries. They're very minor for the Colts. They have Leonard and Quentin Nelson on questionable, but they're good to go. Antonio Brown out. Ali Marpet doubtful. Vita Vea and Devin White questionable for the Buccaneers. This did go up to 3.5, and it is now back to 3. Now back to 3 across the board, but you do get a plus number at 3. And this total is gone up to 53.5 at some books. Take it away, Razor.
I wish I would have grabbed the 3.5, but I didn't. I got the Colts at plus 3. Like you said, it was at 3, went to 3.5, and it dropped right back down to 3 after it did move to 3.5. And the public's hammering the Bucs, but I'm not sure why. They're terrible on the road. They're 2-3 on the road, and they're 0-5 against the spread on the road. 59% of the cash, 53% of the tickets are all on the Bucs. Yet the line isn't moving. They're keeping it at 3, and they don't want to budge. This is a big game for the Colts. I think it all comes to Jonathan Taylor. You know they're going to run. So when they do that, it's going to waste the clock. And he's ran 3 straight 100-yard games, and he's ran 4 out of his last 5 over 100 yards. So I think he's going to do the same thing again. and he's just going to waste the clock the whole game. And I think that's how the Colts are going to get it done today. The Bucks, they do have a great defensive line, but then on the opposite side, the Colts have one of the best offensive line in the leagues. So it's going to be a fun game to watch. Big trenches, defensive line versus the offensive line. And it's really a matter of who gets up more. And I think the Colts offensive line can do that. And I do have a couple big key trends for this game as well. The Bucks are 0-4-1 against the spread their last 5 meetings between the two teams. The Bucks are also 2-5 against the spread the last 7 games. Bucks are 0-5 against the spread the last 5 road games. And then on the Colts side, the Colts are 12-4-1 against the spread the last 17 home games versus a team with a winning record. So I think they step up to here today against a good team, and I think they can cover the 3, if not win outright. So I locked in the Colts +3.
Colts +3 is the final spot on the board for Razor Sharp Picks. Let's review his action. Colts +3 at -110. The under 42 -110 in Carolina, Miami. Under 43.5 in Tennessee, New England. Browns +3.5 and the under 44 in Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. Razor Sharp Picks, thank you so much for joining us. We love you dearly. Can't wait to be back on your horse racing show very soon. Any last words for these great cappers supporting the show?
Do I have any last words? You're damn right I got some last words. Shout out to the 340 plus people in the chat. If you haven't already, slam the like button, subscribe, and share. Cheers. Hiya.
Yeah, I did throw a little Kraken in the coffee. Much love, Razor Sharp Picks. Cheers. Hiya, says Razor Sharp Picks. We move on. Next guest on the show, currently ranked 6th on this show. Let me go back to his action here. Sorry, this will take a second. Did I do this? Sorry. I've got this wrong. Sorry. Your next guest ranked number 3 on this show. I believe I must have. Oh, no, Clint. Sorry. I messed up the schedule. Jeez, sorry. I had a heavy week here, and I guess I'm just not thinking clearly. But I have Razor going 2nd and Clint going 3rd. Dell probably has the graphics all set up for that as well. I'm sorry, you got. Oh no, I have Flash going 3rd. No, everything's right here. Flash going. Okay, sorry, my fault, you guys. My fault. Check it out. Let's get back to work. Our next guest ranked 6th on the show with 4 wins, 3 losses, plus 0.78 units. He opened week 2 with us, went 2-1 plus 0.9 units. Joined us week 10, 2-2 minus 0.12 units, and he is back in action, coming to us live from Costa Rica. Please welcome to the show, Flash in the house. Flash, how are you, my man?
Good morning, James. Yeah, I feel as if I've gone head-to-head with a nose tackle all night. We had a bit of a party yesterday, and you know me and alcohol. I'm like a fish up a tree. And then I've got Razor Sharp shouting like that. My head is absolutely pounding. But listen, I want to settle in, feet up, and enjoy the football today.
Sure. Yes, I miss very much drinking with you in Costa Rica.
Yeah,
miss that very, very much. Let's get right to work. You start with the New York Jets at Houston Texans. This is a fascinating spot. Jets 2-8, 0-5 on the road. Texans 2-8, 1-3, home Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. I love bum fights and usually bet them.
Yeah, I've got another couple of bets that I'm going to add as well. You don't need to change the graphics because they're in games that I've already selected. I've got under 45.5 here. And everything goes towards the Texans D for me. I just think that's where the game's going to be won and lost. And also Tyrod Taylor's mobility. I've got them at -2.5 as well, the Texans. I know that's moved in some places up to 3, but I've got the -2.5. I just see the Jets completely and utterly struggling. Zach Wilson coming off a break. A bit reliant on Elijah Moore. No, I don't think there's no Carter. There's no Corey Davis. So for me, I just want to be with the Texans, especially after the feel-good factor of last week. Now, it could be a letdown spot, but I cannot go with the Jets. I really cannot. So for me, it's the Texans. I've gone -2.5, and I've gone under 45.5.
Let me see if I can find it, because at this point, we can give you the 45 because we're doing, unless you tweet out your action, we're doing what?
Yeah, I'll tweet out all my. I've got 5 selections basically. The 3 that I sent you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I've got 6 selections in total. I'll tweet them all out afterwards.
But
anyway.
FanDuel is still hanging at 2.5, so we can get you that Texans 2.5 and minus 115 and get you the under 45. So let's get you that.
Okay, no worries. You can. I've already got the 45.5, but take a little bit off. It wouldn't be you, would it, if you weren't taking and skimming off the top?
Oh, Jesus. Texans minus 2.5 and minus 115. Now, I understand why anybody would move on the Texans, but I have this thing about talented young quarterbacks. They have to be very talented young quarterbacks in the NFL and in college football, getting a chance to sit on the sidelines for 4 weeks and watch. I have this thing about backing them.
I mean, the Houston D is obviously where this game's going to be won and lost, and I just think they're going to have their way with the Jets line. So for me, it was just all about, okay, can we stop them scoring? Yes, I believe. I think the team total's around 20 odd as well for the Jets, which I'd go under on that. But when they've got 45. Yeah, I'm with Tyrod Taylor and his legs, really.
Yeah, I get it. I completely get it. And look, I did not move on the Jets, but because of that angle that has been so successful for me, I'm not going to bet. I'm going to stay off. But I just have this thing about backing these top young quarterbacks when they watch for 4 or 5 weeks, or even 3 weeks, or even 2 weeks. If they just get to sit and watch the mistakes and who's succeeding. And, you know, Zach got to watch some really different styles of quarterbacking, and he got to watch a lot.
Let's not make no bones. They're 2 very ugly birds, aren't they?
They are. And Michael Carter being out is a huge
massive
loss for the Jets. So I get it. I completely get it. And, you know, we have Greenard, who's been dealing with this foot injury, and they were able to dial up so much pressure last week. Will they be able to do it again? Dennis Garcia says Jets win the game.
Cheers, Den. Why? Just keep them thoughts to yourself. You know what I mean? Listen, just a quick one, James. I had 20 bets yesterday, and my whole total P&L was 40 cents. That's how I'm being jinxed. So today it's feet up and just enjoy winners.
I get it. It's a battle. Every day is a battle for us. Buccaneers, Colts is your next spot. Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. We've been talking about this game, different looks, and I can't wait to hear your look here. Just quickly, this total opened up at 51. We see it up to 53.5 at some books. I'm going to double check those books to make sure that that's current. And the Buccaneers are now 3-point favorites at most books. Pinnacle's moved it to 3 as well. Take it away.
Yeah, well, I actually got 53, and I've gone under here. Again, a little bit like what Razor was saying. I think the clock's going to be the Colts' friend. I think that obviously the hottest man in the NFL at the moment is Jonathan Taylor. I just think that these are the sleeping giants in the AFC. I've had a little piece of them at 33-1 as well to sneak into the. I think they win today, and I've bet them on the money line as well, and that's official at plus 135. So I think the Colts win this game. I just think that Brady's going to be rushed. I know that he gets the ball out of the hands quicker than most, but the way that he targets, I don't think they're going to have enough time to get into position. So for me, I've gone with the Colts. I've gone under 53. Mainly that's just the clock and the way that the Colts want to dictate this game at home. Can't have the Bucks on the road, to be honest. And if I'm going to be giving up or getting free, I just want the money line at plus 135 just for the greed factor. So it's the Colts. And if the Colts win today and the Patriots win today, then the Colts are only 1 game behind the Titans.
So you have the under 53 at minus 110. That's available everywhere. The 53.5.
And the Colts money line at plus 135.
All right, Colts money line. I would love to see if I can get you better than that very quickly. We'll take a quick look here with the Colts. By the way, Jacksonville, Terry Walker laughing at Wilson is talented. And Jacksonville, Zoe, our number 1 ranked capper on the show, says, not sure Zach is a top young quarterback. Sure does not look like one. If you're drafted 2nd overall, then you have the skills to succeed. If you don't succeed, it's up here.
But you not got to have the weapons as well, as in the people to complete plays. Which is where I think they fall down. It don't matter how well you throw the ball. You got to have people to catch it.
Well, we can give you a plus 136 on the Colts. That's available right now.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Pinnacle. Hey, every cent counts. Let's move on to the next spot on the board, 4:25 p.m. Eastern. LA Rams at Green Bay Packers. This was so much fun to cap on Tuesday. I got the Rams money line at -105, and the Rams team total over at 23.5. The market is moving so quickly here towards this Rams squad. They're now up to -135 at some books on the money line. Take it away, Flash. I love this game, Rams Packers.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a coin flip, to be honest, but I've just got to go with the Rams coming off of a bye, going to be fresh. I think they get plenty pressure on Rodgers. I've given up I've got the -1.5 because I was fed up with taking lines on Tuesday and then finding that my players had COVID, so basically I've been waiting until maybe Saturday morning. But with the Rams, they've got this is a bounce back spot for them, and we know that there's injuries on both sides of the ball for the Packers. I think Rodgers has a tough day. Now, it's never a good thing. It's not a healthy thing to ever back Rodgers at home, but I've got to go with the Rams, and I've got to go with their weapons and obviously a fresh D to get to the Green Bay quarterback. So for me, it's all about the Rams. And it's almost like a put up or shut up for them because they looked absolutely diabolical last time out. So for me, it's a massive bounce back spot. And at 1.5, that's the same as basically a money line anyway.
Have to give you the 2, though. That's the only thing that's available right now. Big O, the weather's pretty nice. 34 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 13 miles per hour. Pretty nice weather for Green Bay.
The 2's no problem.
Yeah, 2's under the spot there. I like the look. This is the way I see it's an incredible buy low opportunity on the Rams after 2 terrible weeks coming in off a bye. We know how important buys are this time of year. Lamont Williams, much love. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so let's review our action from our guy Flash, who's 4-3 on the show, plus 0.78 units. He's on the under 45 in Jets Texans at -110. He's on the Texans -2.5 at -115. Then he's on the under 53 at -110 in Tampa Bay, Indianapolis Colts, and the Colts money line at +136. And he closes it out with the Rams -2 at -110. Flash, thank you. So, and then Twate Latte is on the Packers money line at +115 on the other side. Flash, thank you so much for joining us. The star of our soccer show here on Fridays, No Clean Sheets. Follow him on Twitter, Flash_37. Flash, thank you so much for rolling with us, my man. Any last words for the cappers supporting the show in the chat?
Yeah, may all your bets be winners.
There he is, right there. Flash, enjoy your Sunday. Kick your feet up and enjoy your Sunday, my man. Great to see you. Thank you for rolling with us.
You're welcome.
There he
Jay.
is. Flash_37 coming to us live from Costa Rica. We move on. Your next guest on the show is climbing up the ladder here in our standings at NFL Pub Hub, now finding himself in 3rd spot after a very successful 3-1 plus 1.90 units week 11. We brought him right back. He's ranked 3rd, 8-5 plus 2.55 units. Please welcome to the show the star of the Die Hard MMA podcast. We got Clint in the house. Clint, how are you, my man?
What's up, Jimmy? Doing good, buddy. How are you this morning?
I am great. I'm so I love being here with you guys, capping. It takes me away from whatever pain and difficulties are going on outside. We get to come together, cap, and do what we love. There's Lily Gunn in the house. We got Twate Latte, Alex Condiff, all these great guys that I miss dearly. And you are one of them, Clint, coming off a very successful week 11, coming right back in action. Strike while the iron is hot. You ready to get to work?
I love it, Jimmy. I'm ready. I'm the MMA guy, but gonna kill this football competition. Let's go.
Let's go. You start with the Buccaneers and Indianapolis Colts as well. We're at Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis, Indiana. A lot of people talking about this giant game. Take it away.
Jimmy, I love this spot. And if you remember on the Tuesday night show, I was live and in the chat, and I told you, no fear, Jimmy. No fear. These Colts are better than people give them credit for. They are clicking at the right time. Carson Wentz has figured out this offense. Jonathan Taylor is the #1 football player on the freaking planet right now. And I know a lot of the other cappers on the show talked about Taylor. One thing that people failed to mention was that he can make history today, Jimmy. If Taylor goes over 100 yards with a touchdown, It'll be the 9th straight game and a NFL record that he pulls that off. Now, I don't know if he can do that considering how stout the Bucs defense is, but the Bucs, we know that home road split, Jimmy. They're monsters at home. They suck on the road. And on top of that, Jimmy, they got a short week this week. So we know that's going to take a toll. We know that's going to be a problem. They're already bad on the road, and now they have less time to prepare. These Colts are hungry. I did just like my guy Flash did, Jimmy. I got 33-1 on the Colts to take the whole damn thing home for a sprinkle after seeing what they've put together. They are going to fight for this playoff berth. They're coming in this spot. I took the +3, and I didn't know I was going to be here live on the show with you, so I don't know what I get credit for, but I did take the money line at +145.
You will not get that +145, but we just shopped and got the +136 for Flash. So we'll give you that +136. You'll get the +3 at -115. And you, sir, are in business.
Ready.
Let's move on to the next spot on your card. 1 p.m. Eastern. Philadelphia Eagles 5-6, 4-2 on the road. New York Giants 3-7, 2-3 home. We're at MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. 42 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 5 miles per hour. Yeah, Princess, I thought of you. Thought of you yesterday, my guy. Big. Hold my beer. It is depending on where you shop right now. There are +125s, but there are +136 available at Pinnacle, +133 at Sports Interaction. Bet365 are they still hanging the +135? They are. They're still hanging +135. So we give the cappers the best line available at a respectable book.
I gotta start tweeting this shit.
It will help. MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Here we go. We talked about the injuries in this spot, and other than Jordan Howard for the Eagles, they're mainly based around this Giants team and this squad with all of their playmaking positions dealing with injuries. Gillespie, not really that guy, but fullback out. Sterling Shepard, quad. Caden Smith, knee. They're out. Kyle Rudolph, ankle. Kadarius Toney, quad, doubtful. Then you have Saquon Barkley and John Ross, questionable. You are moving on a player prop, but just as a reminder to the action here in this spot, we have Eagles now up to 4.5-point favorites, and this total 45 or 45.5 from the 46 opener. Take it away, your player prop. Let's roll.
So again, Jimmy, we're gonna have to check the line on this one because you hit me up late last night, so I threw together my card for the official picks. This may have moved, but I got Evan Ingram over 3.5 receptions at -130. This one is pretty straightforward and simple to me here, Jimmy. You mentioned all the injuries on the Giants side of the ball. Who are they going to throw the ball to? Who is there for them to give the ball in order to move this thing? And the list is getting short. There's just not that many people. They don't have that many options. And you look at Evan Ingram, they have tried to get this kid involved. You look over the course of his, the history of this season, he averages 5.13 targets per game. He's been all the way up to 8 targets in a single game before. So they are trying to get Evan Ingram involved. They just haven't quite been able to connect. I got him at over 3.5, and I think that's pretty simple. He usually walks away with 3. All he's got to do is keep his mitts on 1, and I think he's going to get some extra looks today. On top of that, the Eagles are the worst defense in the league when it comes to fantasy points given up to tight ends. So I know fantasy doesn't always relate 100% to betting, but the fact that tight ends are having so much success against the Eagles lets me know that Evan Ingram is going to be a threat today on that field. Just give me 4 touches, kid. I got over 3.5 -130.
And the 3.5s are widely available still. Most books have just added juice to the 3.5, and that implies that they're worried about it rather than putting it at 4.5 at a low cost that will bring in extra action. I like it. All right, let's keep rolling. Next up, you have a 6-point teaser. Now, you have cashed a teaser on the show, but you're one of the very few. The teaser record on the show is abysmal. Like, it's beyond, and it's got to come back. Like, it's you wouldn't believe it if I told you the numbers. The teasers are hitting 6-point teasers are hitting at less than 15% on the show. And it's just shocking. And again, the sample size is probably too small for us to, take too much into it. But you have moved on a teaser here. We'll see if it all is still legit. I believe it will be, but let's get rolling. We start with Chargers, Broncos. Legit just meaning a 6-point teaser will still work with the numbers, and we'll go over it all. Chargers, Broncos. Chargers 6-4, 3-1 on the road. Broncos 5-5, 2-3 at home. We're at Empire Field at Mile High, Denver, Colorado. 63 Fahrenheit, sunny, 7 miles per hour. This Chargers team has the one big issue injury-wise, and that's Asante Samuel with the concussion. That hurts them a lot. For the Broncos, Kareem Jackson neck, offensive tackle Bobby Massey ankle are doubtful. And then Shelby Harris ankle, Tyree Cleveland hamstring questionable. The Broncos, I'm on a team total over 22.5, and I wanted the +3 on the Broncos, but I didn't want it to have juice associated with it. And it got to -125. Then it got to -120, and I still didn't bet it. And now it's -110. Oh, shit. I might have to move on this now.
There you go.
I might have. But let's hear your thoughts on this spot. Talk about the breakdown and then what your teaser is, but not the second half of the teaser, just the first half. Take it away.
Sure, no problem, no problem. So basically, Jimmy, the Chargers are a public team. They're one of these teams that I feel like everyone has in their mind how amazing and how special and how awesome this team is. They remind me a lot of my Vikings, Jimmy. You don't lay points with the Chargers. They simply don't cover. They're a team that fights to the level of their competition. Every single game is going to come down to a single possession, and they've done that throughout the course of this season. 4 of the 5 wins for the Chargers have come by 7 points or less. They simply are not capable of blowing anybody out. And the Broncos are another one of these middle-of-the-road teams who have their destiny in their own hands. They're fighting for their playoff lives. This is a must-win situation for them at 5-5. They've got a good, solid receiving core. If they can piece it together, I think they're alive to pull the upset in this game. But if they don't pull the upset, I still think it's going to just come down to one possession. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and tease them up. The number was at 2.5 when I made the teaser. So I got to add the 6 points on and bump them up to 8.5 on the Broncos side of things. When we talk about the teasers, Jimmy, one thing I kind of want to mention, teasers are dead, Jimmy. They don't exist anymore. You look at books like DraftKings and MGM and stuff like that. They don't even offer you a teaser option. They just give alternate spreads, and you build your own parlay using those alternate spreads. And everyone just be careful and look very, very closely, because today I checked it out on both books, DK and BetMGM. There are certain spots where the price doesn't matter. You'll get +7.5 at -300, +8, +8.5, and +9 are all sitting at that same price tag. So you can buy a couple of extra points and not use the 6-point teaser. Like, just throw together a parlay with these alternate spreads and you can get better numbers for the same price tag sometimes.
So you're going to get a little bit worse on the Broncos. A little bit better on the Broncos and a little bit worse on your next spot. So we'll adjust it and give you the -110 that comes with it. Let's talk about the next spot on your teaser. It's Titans, Patriots. Titans 8-3, 4-1 on the road. Patriots 7-4, 2-4 at home. Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, 39 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour. A couple of us are on the under in this spot, and you are moving on a side with your teaser bet. Take it away.
First off, I'd like to say I endorse the under. I do like that under. I think this will be a defensive battle. The Titans absolutely have to make this a defensive battle to stay alive. Jimmy, this just looks like a team that's limping into their bye week. The Titans have such a good record at this point. They're fighting for their playoff lives, and they can give up a game or two here and there to get healthy, to have their players ready to go on the backstretch. They're just absolutely ravaged by injuries right now. And without King Henry, we really don't know who's taking the reins of this team, what their offense is going to be, and what it's going to look like. We know Bill Belichick takes away the best option of the other team, and he kind of has his pick of the litter right now because we don't really know who the king of the Titans offense is going to be. I think that the Patriots can beat this disheveled Titans team right now without too much of a hassle. But the problem is I don't like that -7.5. I don't want to lay that many points. I mentioned I think this is going to be a defensive battle. It's going to be close. It's going to be tight. I just need the Pats to win. They'll close out my teaser. I know that's a bit of a square side, but sometimes squares get it right. So I think just getting the Patriots to win is the move.
Broncos +9 is what we'll give you, and Patriots -1. So that'll be a 6-point teaser at -110. Let's review Clint's action. One big winning day. He could blow past your next guest. who has been number one for a lot of this season and had a real unlucky break. I shouldn't be laughing at that. Seriously, a real unlucky break, and is now still very strong at number 2. Let's review his action. We have Clint on Colts money line at plus 136, Colts plus 3 at minus 115, Evan Ingram over 3.5 receptions at minus 130, and then we have a 6-point teaser here with the Broncos and Broncos plus 9, Patriots minus 1. Clint, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us a little bit about your big Die Hard MMA show on Monday.
I'm looking forward to it, Jimmy. There was no fights this past week, so MMA degenerate like myself lost a lot of money on all the other sports because I didn't have anything to bet on. My strongest foot forward. So tune in here on Pub Sports Radio. It's going to be what time is it? 6:30 p.m. Eastern time after the freaking daylight savings time move here on Pub Sports, where I break down this upcoming fight week. Jimmy, I do want to real quick give you my Vikings PSA because it's been so important throughout the last couple of weeks. I did not bet this game today, but I want to warn anybody and everybody that this is a potential letdown spot for my Vikings. Coming off a big win over the Packers, but they're another one of these teams where their destiny is in their own hands. I wanted nothing to do with 2.5. I wanted nothing to do with 3, but 3 and a hook is disrespectful. It's going to be a dog or pass spot at this point. I don't hate the Vikings and teasers. This is probably another one-score game. They can pull off the win if everything goes right, but the 49ers are getting healthy, and that defense scares me with Kirk Cousins because he hasn't been pressured a whole lot this year, and we've seen what happens, how he falls apart when he does. So this is going to be a nail-biting game for me this afternoon.
Great stuff, Clint. Love capping with you. A big show coming up on Monday for the Die Hard MMA podcast, in one big week away from number 1 on the charts. Clint, thank you so much for rolling with us. We all love capping with you so much. Have a great day. Follow him on Twitter at DieHardMMAPod, and enjoy your Sunday, my man.
Good luck, everybody. Cash those tickets, Billy and Zoe. I'm coming.
There he is, Clint. Started the Die Hard MMA podcast. Your next guest, 12 wins and 9 losses, plus 3.4 units on the show, but he had a 3 running back parlay for over 40 yards. Michael Carter, Mark Ingram, and our guy Gibson on Washington football team to go over 40 yards at plus 275. Gibson and Ingram both cleared it easily. Michael Carter ended up at 39 yards, 1 yard away, and that's a 3.75 unit swing. So very, very tough luck to not be way ahead in here. Still sitting at second place, and with that loss by a yard, that was his first ever losing week on the show. He's been on the show 5 different weeks, and they've all been winning weeks. And amazingly, every week was stronger than the next. Week 2 plus 0.35 units. Week 4, 1.2 units. Week 6 plus 1.9 units. Week 7 plus 1.95 units. And had Michael Carter ran for 1 more yard, he would have had that continue. He's done spectacular work here on the show, and we love capping with him. Please welcome to the show, Billy Brisbane in the house. Brizzy, what's happening, my man?
Man, the first thing I got to say right off the top, I'm never betting games in New Jersey any fucking more. Michael Carter was at 42 fucking yards. They stat corrected to 39, and all the fucking odds boost on BetMGM in New Jersey just go out the window. I'm done betting on games in New Jersey. There's been history about corruption. We can't bet collegiate sport games in New Jersey that are in the state of New Jersey. So why am I betting football games in New Jersey? I don't know. I'm done doing it. It's out of my capping. No more games in New Jersey. Fuck New Jersey.
I love it. Now, you've focused all of your attention on one football game here. One football game. You have 3 different looks on this one football game. 2 player props and 1 side. So let's go one at a time through here. But we're talking Pittsburgh Steelers, 5-4-1, 2-2 on the road at Cincinnati Bengals, 6-4, 2-2 at home. Paul Brown Stadium, Cincinnati, Ohio, 43 Fahrenheit, sunny, 13 miles per hour. We've talked about the injuries. The most important thing is that Minkah Fitzpatrick is back. So is TJ Watt, but Joe Hayden is questionable. This Bengals is a fresh squad. that this is a gambler's first glance kind of a bet. And because of that, I've stayed off. Because I saw so much sharp action on the Steelers, I stayed off. Here we go. Let's start with your side before your two player props. Brizzy, take it away. Steelers, Bengals.
Before we even get into the betting stuff, can we get a call out for Big Show? Graphic guy, fucked that record up right there. Definitely not up 0.35 units on the year. But as we decide the fact that it doesn't matter, I got smacked this week anyway. But like you said, Jimmy, as the weeks are getting sharper, the books are getting sharper, we got to start getting sharper. We need to start changing the way we're betting. Usually I bet player props by line, just by line miss. I feel like line misses. Like sometimes the books put out lines that I just don't think are correct. Now it needs to start being where I'm correlating all my plays in one game. And that's what we did this week. The first play that we're going to talk about is Najee Harris over 16.5 rush attempts. Shouts to my boy Sharpie Bets over on Twitter. He gave out this play on Friday, and I definitely do agree with him. He's one of the highest owned players that I have personally on my daily fantasy lineups. He's hit this prop out of his last 8 games, 5 out of the last 8. Harris has gone over 22 carries per game in his last 6 games with 83 rushing yards as an average. The Bengals defense has allowed an average of 104 rushing yards per game over the last 3 games. I think Harris is going to absolutely smash this prop. And this leads into the second prop. For the truthers out there, today's the day that we finally get paid. Pat Freiermuth season is finally here. You're like, who the fuck is Pat Freiermuth? Well, you better get to know who he is because he's absolutely going to smash today. Anytime touchdown at plus 200 at FanDuel. Over the last 5 weeks, the rookie has emerged, getting closer to reaching his full potential, averaging 7.2 targets per game, 5 catches, and 4 touchdowns over the last 5 weeks. With Eric Ebron being out for this one, I think that his usage is going to be very similar. If you follow Pub Sports Radio, we're on this play on the Thursday night football game against the Chicago Bears where he had the double touchdown game. I think today's day is going to be even bigger than that. I think this is a great matchup for the tight end position. The Bengals have allowed the second most fantasy points over the last 4 weeks to the tight end. On the season, the Bengals ranked 22nd in yards allowed per target to the tight end position and 20th in touchdowns to the tight end position. And that leads into my favorite play of the day.
Yeah, get that in you. Hydrate.
I know, right? Got to hydrate, man. No week of MMA. I'm not used to talking this long at one time. But the Steelers plus 3.5 at minus 110. Don't be fucking scared of this one. The return of TJ Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick is the key to this game. Burrow has been managing to make the money throws this season, but that doesn't really cover up their offensive line problems. This offensive line is absolutely horrible. The Bengals have allowed 28 sacks this season, the 7th most in the NFL. The Steelers ranked 4th in the NFL in sacks this season with 2.8 per game. And that number's been trending very well on the road too, which they also ranked the 4th best with 3 sacks per game. And in the last 5 years, the Steelers' ATS record as an underdog is 18-4, hitting at an 82% hit rate. I absolutely love the Steelers plus 3.5 today. I love Najee Harris over 16.5 rush attempts. And I love Pat Freiermuth anytime touchdown. They just all ended up being in the same game. And if you want to parlay that up together on FanDuel for the same game parlay people out there, that's plus 522.
I have great news. Usually it hurts coming on late because of the market moves that come about, but this did not hurt you. The Steelers have moved to plus 4 at Pinnacle. So you're going to get a plus 4 at minus 113. Prince of the City says Steelers outright. Terry Walker says Pittsburgh and the under. And Clint loves the Freiermuth anytime TD. And yeah, Nuke Worker, I got the Ticats at minus 5. That's what I had to deal with. I got 3 at first half, 5 full game. I doubled up there. It's going to be a smash down in Steel Town. And here we have Steelers, Bengals, a triple up spot for our Billy Brisbane, who has been the most consistent. You deserve to be on the top of the hill, Brizzy. And we are putting together a package, and it's a big package for the winner. It's a big old
coming
package.
Down to South Jersey, Jimmy. We're going to be celebrating that bad boy in Atlantic City.
So, all right. So let's review action for Billy Brisbane. Steelers plus 4 at minus 113. Najee Harris over 16.5 rush attempts at -125, and Pat Fryermuth anytime touchdown at +200 for Billy Brisbane. Tell us a little bit about your DFS show here on Pub Sports Radio.
Yeah, DFS show Wednesday, Friday. You can also catch the primetime football games. There's always some hidden gem stats. And the last thing I'm going to tell you, the only person that can take money out of your pocket is Uncle Sam legally. You shouldn't allow the fucking bookmakers to do it either. So tail those 3 plays and get paid.
There he is. I love him more and more every time I work with him. Billy Brisbane, thank you for rolling with us. Follow him at getting_Bills_. Our guy Billy Briz in the house. I'm cheering for you, Brizzy. I'm cheering for you, man. That you would be way ahead laughing at the competition if it wasn't for 1 yard.
It cashed. It's so crazy. It cashed on my BetMGM. The money came through, and literally the stat correction after the game took away 3 yards, and they took away the money. I was man. Talk about bad luck. Don't bet on games in the state of New Jersey. They're rigged.
I love them. I love working with you. Thank you so much for joining us, Brizzy. Have yourself a giant Sunday, my guy. And I can't wait to hang out with you in person, dude. Great stuff, and we'll be in touch.
March Madness, baby.
There it is right there, Billy Brisbane. Giving you guys a little hint of what our plan is at Pub Sports Radio. We're working it out, but looks like we're going to head down to San Antonio. We're all going to meet up in San Antonio, and then we're going to head over to Louisiana because they've just started all their sports books up. But we're going to be rolling down south in March, and we want everybody to join us, everybody to party with us. All right, there you go. We move on to our final guest of the show, a legend in our circles, but not just our circles. This man is a gambling legend, and we love working with him. Please welcome to the show, the big Ragu in the house. Ragu, what's happening, my man?
Good morning, man. Good morning, everybody. I take that like I take the compliment legend, but use it loosely the way I've been fucking picking games lately. But you know, we all go through our little lulls. But I'm in a sandwich spot, Jimmy. I'm fresh off of Thanksgiving, not a real profitable one, and I got a fucking wedding next weekend. So be careful with my picks this week because I'm in a sandwich spot right here, guys.
You are coming off a winning week here on the show. Week 10, you went 3-2 plus 0.85 units.
All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, and the main thing is that we believe in you. That is the main thing. We believe in you. You're 7-8 on the show, down 1.75 units, but I will be shocked if you stay negative units. And for those of you who rock with Ragu in college football, you know he's a winner. And last year in the bowl season, I had my best bowl season of my entire life at 27-9, and I only beat Ragu by a half unit. I have to have my best bowl season of my life to beat just a regular year for Ragu.
I'm a dangerous gambler, let's put it that way. But, you know, like you say, a little low, but I appreciate the accolades, man. I really do. And we'll see if we can squash a few units today. I'm on a couple, 3 games. It's a light schedule for me this week, so I'm not going to say tread lightly, but I like to live in the fire, if you know what I'm saying.
I do know what you're saying, and I don't know what your moves are, so let's get right started. Philadelphia Eagles, 5-6, 4-2 on the road. New York Giants, 3-7, 2-3 home. MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey, 42 Fahrenheit, cloudy, 5 miles per hour. We talked about the injuries. They're mainly on the Giants side of the ball. Money keeps coming in on these Eagles. Let's go over to the cash flow in this spot. Now 50,450 tickets in, 68% of the tickets, 78% of the cash on the Eagles, and there's a 4.5 on the board now. We have 39% of tickets on the under and 61% of cash on the under. So it looks like the under is the sharp spot. And I was afraid to bet. I was afraid to touch this game at all. The Pinnacles moved it up to 45.5. So Pinnacle Sports Interaction on 45.5. The other books, Will Hill's at 45.5. So not far off from that 46 opener from Pinnacle. Take it away, Ragu. Eagles, Giants.
So I went to the Tampa Bay Giant game Monday evening. I was down there observing because I said, you know what, I'm going to come out with 2 of my plays this week out of that game, short week, you know, hectic schedule. But anyways, these are 2 scenarios that I like to get involved with. One is I love getting off of teams that play on Monday night the following week. You know, that's an angle I've been using for a while. It's a high percentage angle. It doesn't always work, but it's a favorable angle. And it sets up perfect for the Giants in this spot. Number one, we all know that the Giants' offense is struggling immensely, and it cost Garrett his job. Now they bring in Kitchens. What's Kitchens going to do first week out? Not a whole lot. As a matter of fact, Judge was making comments and jokes about, our play calling is going to be drawn out of a hat, so to speak. So not a good look, and to give the Giants a little bit of credit where credit's due, not to put all the onus on Jones because, their star players have been banged up. They haven't had a lot of continuity on that offense, and there's no excuses to be made. Us as gamblers, we're looking to punch them in the mouth, trying to get the edge, and that's one way we're going to have a big edge in this game here is that the Giants' offensive woes are going to continue. Jones leads the leagues in turnovers and quarterback turnovers, not a good scenario there. And, they're coming up against a hot Philadelphia team. I know my aunt loves to bet the Eagles, and, that line has kind of stretched a little bit. I bet it early in the week, as soon as I got the line available to me. I got in at 3.5. I think Hurts is going to have a game. What I like about the Eagles is they've kind of let plays develop around Hurts. That kid, he squats 500 pounds. He's a running back that's playing quarterback, basically. And they've kind of let the tools, the offense kind of float around this kid. I think with the offensive woes of the Giants, Eagles playing decent defensively. Giants are not bad defensively either, but their offense kills their defense. I think it's just an eating time spot for Philadelphia, and I'm all over the Eagles. I know I'm gonna use whatever the number is available for the show here, but I got the Giants Eagles early in the week -3.5.
Pinnacle just moved the 4 to -105, so there's just been a little move.
Yeah, 4 is
there.
good.
So at least we'll keep the VIG down for you. So Eagles -4 at -105 for Ragu to get his card started. He moves next to a bum fight. Sticking with New York football teams, Jets 2-8, 0-5 on the road, Texans 2-8, 1-3 at home, Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. The big issue here for the Jets is Michael Carter is out. Corey Davis is questionable, so I guess that's a big part. Also, Shaq Lawson. I mean, look, Shaq Lawson with the wrist injury, CJ Mosley, shoulder injury. Those are big pieces, so let me not just focus on Michael Carter. Then for the Texans, you have Jonathan Greenard still dealing with a foot injury. He's questionable, so we're not sure if he's going to be in. We did see that defense look strong against the very undermanned Titan squad without Greenard. But here we go, Jets, Texans. Again, I spoke earlier about why I was afraid to move on this game, and it comes down to I like backing talented quarterbacks, and I still think that's actually a talented quarterback when they've sat back and watched for 4 or 5 weeks. It's an angle that I've always had success with, especially in college, and I've had enough fear to take me off of betting the Jets, but it would be Jets or no bet for me. And I can't wait to hear your breakdown here. Jets, Texans, take it away.
Yeah, so we get to put Flacco on the sidelines, which is a good thing for the New York. If you're a fan of the Jets, it's a happy day for you to get Wilson back without a doubt. And the NFL is a very week-to-week league, as we know. Anything can happen on any given Sunday. We've seen it last week. We've seen it the week before. And this is going to be another one of those weeks, I think. And it is a bum fight, like our boy DJ Big Boss likes to call it. A rule of thumb for me is when I'm watching a team at home and the team is, not favored, 3 points is the magic number for a home field advantage in the league. And if you're not giving up more than 3 at home, then there's something wrong, with your squad, obviously. And it's a classic bum fight. I like the upgrade with Wilson. Taylor had a hell of a game last week against a banged-up Titans team, which that was a shocker. That was almost as shock as when the Bills got beat by the Jags at Jaguar Stadium a couple weeks back. But anyways, I think there's a lot of injuries on both sides of the ball. You got a team that's at home, giving up 2.5, 3 points. What's the current number now, Jimmy?
3 across the board.
3. Okay, so home field advantage technically. I don't even know if that's a home field advantage for the Texans. I know they don't get great fan support, but they get okay fan support. But with the injuries and with the way the Zach Wilson upgrade, I like what he's done. I think the Jets are a live dog here in this spot. So I'm gonna make 2 plays in this game. I'm gonna take the Jets plus the points, and I'm gonna take the Jets money line. Usually I don't like double up, but I got some catching up to do here. So give me the Jets money line and the Jets plus the points.
Since it's moved to 3, the Jets are taking action. The market's moving quickly in their favor since it's moved to 3. Let's just take a look at it. 37 9 tickets in. 67% of the tickets, 74% of the cash on Texans right now. That is changing. 61% of the tickets, 52% of cash on the under. Let's move over and get you the best available. The threes have moved to minus 115 at most books. Let me see what Pinnacle is hanging right now on these. Jets minus 116. So yes, we can get you the +3 at minus 115 at Sports Interaction, and then +3 at minus 115. And then I'm going to line shop for the best money line right now. We have a plus 128 available, and that just moved from plus 135 in the last 10 or 15 minutes. And plus 131 at Pinnacle is the best we can get you. Plus 131. So money line, that's money line at plus 131. All right, we are in business. The next stop for Big Ragu is the game that everybody has talked about, and everybody has been on one side of this. And I don't know what Ragu's action is, and I'm wondering if he might be on the other side. Let's hear Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Indianapolis Colts, Lucas Oil Stadium. Let's do one last quick review of where the cash is here in this spot. We have, here we go. We have 59,630 tickets in. 39% of the tickets, 39% of cash on the Colts. 35% of the tickets, 47% of cash on the under. Here you go, Big Ragu. Bucks, Colts, take it away.
I was telling you about the angle that I like. You know, I love me some Tampa Bay. Don't get me wrong, and you already know which way I'm leaning on this game, basically. But for the most part, my concern with Tampa is their road struggles, and I'm sure the public's on that, and hopefully some of the sharps too. But just coming out of the Monday night game, you know, Tampa, Vita Vea, you know, they have the number one running defense by far. Tampa's front seven against the number one league's offensive front seven. Okay, so now we see Jonathan Taylor's eating. He ate last week against Buffalo in a big way. You know, 5 touchdowns, 4 rushing, one catching. And Frank Reich, when he came over to Indianapolis, I kind of thought he was going to bring that that Philadelphia style, you know, offense that he ran over there. And he already had an offensive line in place for them to eat, but they never got to that point. But now with Jonathan Taylor there, things are kind of finally clicking for the Colts and that offensive line, and in a big way. And the numbers show that. Now all Carson Wentz has to do is basically, you know, run a little play action, you know, off of that run if they're going to be successful. Now that's the big if, but I think they will. I think Indianapolis, not that they're going to control the line of scrimmage, but I think they're in position to make big plays on offense because of the offensive line and Tampa's inability to slow the pass down. Now that's where the big plays are going to come into play for the Colts. If Carson Wentz doesn't turn the ball over, they establish a run, Tampa is going to get their share too. It's not going to be like Tom Brady just going to lay down and, you know, go to sleep. But Tampa's offensive struggles have been on the road. I think they're just averaging like just north of 17 points on the road. You know, against their offensive numbers on the road haven't been good. ATS wise, I think ATS have been 0-4. Following a win 0-4 ATS, and on the road they're 0-6 ATS. So it's pretty much a public spot here, I think. But I just think just the way the Colts are playing, Tampa coming off of Monday night, their offensive struggles on the road, they're covering numbers. They got another one here. We got a live dog at home. You know, there's only one way to play this game. You got to take the points. I'm not going to try to get cute and take the money line here because, you know, it can come down to a field goal. I would consider a push on this game a win, but I would have to just side with the Colts, you know, playing at home the way they're playing. Tampa's offensive road struggle, not offensive road struggles, covering numbers on the road is their big thing. Give me the points plus the Colts home team underdog. That's an angle I always used to like, but anymore, I think it's kind of faded out for the most part. But still, in this particular spot, I think it's a strong play taking the Colts plus the points here.
I'm going to line shop, and that means every single person who's talked Colts, Buccaneers, I believe 4 of them, they are all on the Colts. all of them. And Clint went as far as taking the Colts money line, added to the +3.
I heard Clint's. I was a little late getting into the show, but that's a solid look too. But I'm not going to try to get too cute with it. It could very well go down to a 2-point conversion or a missed field goal, something like that. But extra point. But it's going to be a tight game. It's not going to be an easy game. Obviously, it's never easy to beat the world champs, but I think it's the right spot for Indianapolis here.
Andrew G says too many people on India. I feel like the entire world and Sharps haven't heard one person say
that's what makes me nervous too.
But it shouldn't. It shouldn't, because it's about who do you hang out with? Who do you cap with?
Exactly.
Because if you look at the pub, if you look all these tickets, there is still 61% of the tickets and 62% of the cash on the Buccaneers.
Oh yeah, all right, that's good. I'm good with that.
Yeah, so
you
like,
gave me that info. I'm good. Normally I would know that info too, but this morning not so much. But yeah, I just went with my straight cap. I'm usually looking at the sides on the money, the percentage of tickets, all that good stuff. It all factors in before we come to the window. But for show purposes, I had to jump on here, and that's probably going to be my better look of the day too. Is the Colts? That's probably, if I had to rate the plays, the Colts are probably going to be the strongest play out of all of them.
Yeah, so I'm not concerned with that. I'm not like, and I'm not saying that to you here. I'm saying it to Andrew G, because he says too many people on India feel the entire world. Sharps haven't heard one person say Bucks. That's fine, right? Everything that's fine. Diehard MMA podcast. I'm Clint saying Colts are the biggest need for MGM. Maybe that's a little worrisome. Worrisome. And I've still stayed off this game. And Hold My Beer says I'm the only one on Tampa. I've still stayed off this game. I love the angles I have, and I've had 4 straight winning weeks, going for 5, and I just want to stick with what I want, what I planned, and not add anything. But if I did, I would add the Colts +3. Okay, we have Richard jumping into the show. Ragu, he said, wanted to know, he's like, morning, gentlemen, do you like the over in the Buccaneers game? I don't know who placed the totals. At this point, we've only had one person move on the total, and that was Flash, who's also on the Colts. But he did move on the under 53. And when we go over to this total, we heard Ragu already talk about each team's focus and pace and what they're good at defensively, what they're bad at, and how that dictates obviously the score. So let's see what Ragu thinks. But just very quickly on this total, we have 35% of the tickets on the under and 47% of cash on the under. It seems like the under is the sharp action. If you had a free $500 bet on this total right now, what would you do?
Yeah, well, since I'm leaning the Colts way, I think I lean towards the under too, because we know Brady's going to pass probably like 65%, 70% of his plays. We know the Colts are going to do the exact opposite. So whoever's going to execute their will and for the total purpose, if you're leaning with the Colts, then you got to have to lean towards the under, I would think. So it bodes well if you're on the Colts. I think under also.
Ron Walsack, God, I love Kevin with Ron. What a great guy. He says Marpet being out for the Bucs will hurt offense. His replacement sucked last week.
Yeah. Well, don't forget we got Gronk coming back for the he came back Monday night, but it gives them a different dynamic in the red zone. Maybe stretch out a play or two down the field, but he's going to be used limited plays, because he's still not 100%, but he's going to be the X factor. But at the same time, Godwin is dangerous, as we all know. Tampa's loaded. Evans has got the most touchdowns in the league, so you always have to be worrisome with the Bucs and their explosive offense. But they don't do that on the road. See, that's what I'm saying. They don't score the big numbers on the road. And in actuality, I thought they would beat the Giants, even though they beat them handily by 20 points. I figured we'd see a little bit north of 30 points, but they started out a little slow and then they blew them out in the second half. So we'll see what happens here. I think it's a ground control game for Indy. And even if Indy doesn't get to the window, I think it's still going to chew clock up and bode well to the under.
All right, we're 21 minutes to kick off. Daryl Lyles is on the Bucs Colts over, by the way. Coco Bongo's on Gronk over 4.5 receptions at +130. Mr. Fun Monk loving the over in Tampa Bay Indian games. Says love, love, love. Okay, so we're going to go over Big Ragu's spots, and then we'll just do a review of everybody who came on their show, what their action is, and a review of my action. So for our Big Ragu, Colts +3 at -112, Jets money line +131 and +3 at -115, and the Eagles -4 at minus 105. Big Ragu, thank you so much for rolling with us. Follow this man on Twitter at Big Ragu62. Ragu, we love you so much, man. Any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, it's always good to hang with the fellas. I enjoy doing it. I'll be more active in Twitter, I promise. Like after the holidays roll by, I got a lot of shit going on, but I'll be real active on Twitter during bowl season. So look out for those plays. And I can't wait to hang with you guys down in Southtown and bring the party to New Orleans whenever that happens too.
Yeah, man. It sounds incredible. It sounds absolutely incredible. Love you, Ragu. Thank you for joining with us, my man.
All right. Good luck. Cash some tickets, everybody.
Will do. There he is, the Big Ragu. Love seeing Lily Gunn in our chat, part of the show. I love seeing that. Lily Gunn, of course, part of the famous Vegas gun duo that we love so much. Okay, let's review all action. There's Canadian Capper 72 as well. Okay, let's review action as well. So I only have 6 bets left, and I will be adding 2 bets. And I've been trying not to add any action, but this goes with my plan. If the number went to a certain spot, I was going to move on it. And they've both gone to that spot. So first I'll tell you what I'm on right now. And the games I'm adding aren't 1 o'clock games. I'm on the Dolphins money line. I didn't get a good number. I got plus 105. What would I get if I bet it right now? Plus 100. There we go. There we go. That was plus 110 all the way. There we go. Okay. Carolina, Miami under 42. That's at 41. So beat that mark. Tennessee, New England under 44.5. These were all bet on Tuesday night. That's at 43. Beat that mark. Broncos team total over 22.5. And that's moved to 21.5. And it's juiced to the under. Shit, really? God, really? Off the bye, you can't beat up on this Chargers defense? Really? That makes me very uncomfortable. That makes me so uncomfortable. Maybe I should just let it go. I have the Rams at minus 105. That's now, if I bet that right now, the Rams are at minus 135. Love that shit. Then I have the Rams team total over 23.5. That was minus 120. God, bet 35 just milks every last second out of you. But it's now minus 125, so I beat that. Look, Terry Walker says add Pittsburgh. I'm going to watch that show and just kind of watch that game. Watch that show, watch that game. I think the market is telling me not to bet the Broncos plus 3. Why? Off the bye. Could anybody, well, I'm going to review all the action, but could you guys jump in the chat if you can, if you have a second here about this? Do you agree with this Broncos team total going from 22.5 down to 21.5 and juice to the under? And if so, then should probably stay off the Broncos. The other bet I'm going to make is I'm going to take the Niners minus 3 at minus 120. I was waiting for it to get to that number. Mr. Funmonk says my second best over-under plays the over on Chargers Denver. I'm going to come back and look. If you guys could just touch on it, what you think I should do. And Canadian Capper said Westbrook Akine for Tennessee receptions at 3.5 plus 100. They will be down and have to throw. Who else are they going to throw to? Over. Big Beaver play of the day. We've missed the Big Beaver play of the day. Okay, let's review everybody's action who came on the show. Bebsy is on the Colts, and he got plus 3.5 minus 115 last night. Tweeted that out. Titans plus 7.5 minus 118. He could have got better if he had waited. Gesicki over 42.5. Receiving yards minus 110. And Robinson over 65.5 rush yards minus 115. And David Jones over 17.5 rush yards at minus 115. David Daniel Jones at minus 115. Then he's got the over 46 in Rams Packers. Terry Walker says possible under on the Denver game. Burgundy says divisional matchup to me. You don't got to push a play there. Not adding has worked for you lately. LaFlush says the Westgate numbers at 21.5. The reason why I'm saying this is just because I said on Tuesday, if that could get to a plus 3 without juice, I would move on it. Now, why am I palm sweating and why am I not on it? I guess I don't need to double up on the game. I guess it comes down to that. And what's been working with us is betting against what we saw last week. And what we saw last week was how pitiful the Chargers looked. Oh, my beer saying Denver 2-8 to the under. I just feel like the Denver off a bye. I mean, how could Fangio mess this up? You have a full 2 weeks to prepare for this terrible defense. I don't understand how you could mess this up. Honestly, I want to move on it, but you're right. It has been working, not doing it. I guess I have a little bit of time to decide. Not a 1 o'clock game. Okay, RazorSharpPicks is on the under 44 at -110 in Steelers-Bengals. He's on the Browns plus 3.5, the under 43.5 in Tennessee-New England, and Panthers-Dolphins under 42. I haven't added any plays again, Ski. But last week, Ski, and I was talking about the 4 bets I added during the week from Tuesday through Saturday, all cashed. I went 4-0 on additions, but I didn't add anything after the show. And I haven't added anything since Tuesday at this point either. Burgundy saying Tampa off their bye loss to Washington. Labyrinth UFC saying Razor Sharp is money today. Okay. Zach Phillips says Fangio openly admits he doesn't watch his offense. Come on. Come on. He's got to be messing with us there. He's not. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard a head coach say in my life, Zach. Okay, so again, Razors on Colts plus 3, under 42 in Carolina, Miami, under 43.5 in Titans, New England, and Browns plus 3.5 in the under 44 in Steelers, Bengals. Then we move on to Flash. Flash is on the under 45 in Jets, Texans. Texans minus 2.5, minus 115. The under 53 in Buccaneers, Colts, and the Colts money line plus 136. And the Rams minus 2 at minus 110 in Rams, Packers. Then Clint, who's now 8-5 on the show plus 2.55 units. No, Zach, I don't think you're lying. I just think it's hilarious. It's so that makes me not want to bet it at all. That makes me want to not bet. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard a coach say, Zach. I didn't mean to imply that you're lying. Never my intention. I just think it's such a ludicrous statement that I almost want you to be lying just so I can bet it. That's all. Of course, I don't think you're lying. I apologize if it came across that way. Tampa, Indianapolis, Colts money line at plus 136 and Colts plus 3 at minus 115. Evan Ingram over 3.5 receptions, and that's quite heavily juiced. And then Titans, Patriots. Oh, that's his teasers. Broncos plus 9, Patriots minus 1. And Razor Sharp Pick saying Golden State Clippers under 215.5. His top $300 NBA play there. No, it's my fault, Zach. I just, I've been had a heavy week and a close friend die and just been messing with my head and not sleeping and waking up with like this heaviness on my shoulders. But what's happening now is I've got this. I'm trying to think about whether I make this bet, and I'm trying to read the comments. And so I didn't mean to intimate that you were lying. I apologize. That's on me. Next up is Billy Brisbane. He's got 3 moves on the Steelers-Bengals game. Steelers plus 4 at minus 113. Najee Harris over 16.5 rush attempts. And Freiermuth anytime TD at plus 250. And then Jared JB says 7-13 teams coming off the bye. When I read that, and Dutch Boy Fresh on Bucks minus 2. When I read that, JJB, that doesn't make me necessarily think that, oh, shit, teams are going to be bad off a bye. I just think that the sample size is probably not big enough because it makes no sense that these professionals who spend all their day coaching would not be able to create game plans. That the statistic doesn't make sense, but it's very important that it's happening right now. Very important that it's happening right now. So thank you for sharing that with us. Then Big Ragu. Big Ragu's on the Eagles minus 4. The Jets plus 3 at minus 115 and the money line plus 131. The Colts plus 3 at minus 112. Okay, and again, Lamont Williams' max bet was the parlay, the Buccaneers money line in that game for the over. That was from Lamont Williams. Okay, so I'm going to not make the decision yet, but I want the Broncos plus 3, and I want the Niners minus 3. And look, if the Broncos can't do this against the worst defense of the last few weeks, then Fangio has to be fired immediately. Truck and Six God says Brady going to throw for 400 today, and Truck and Six God is fading Bebsy. Bebsy coming off a winning week. I expect him to get hot. Mick Motive Mick G Motive saying, I really appreciate your work. Thank you. You look, I'm just so thankful to have this opportunity with you guys. And you can probably hear the heaviness in my voice. Like, it's just been a heavy week. And knowing that I have this opportunity to cap with you guys I'm just so thankful. So thankful to hang with you guys and to let go and the cap. And it means the world to me. Thank you so much for all of your support here in the chat. That's what makes this show special. That's what makes this channel special. And that's why we all want to party together so badly. We would have already done it if it wasn't for COVID. And I know a lot of you guys got to in Vegas, but there's a lot of Canadian cappers that want to party with our American brothers. So we can't wait. So that looks like it's going to be in March. We're going to talk more and more about that as it gets closer. But that's just going to be the most fun that I could possibly have. A Walla Dose, I love you. I love you. Ryan Garson, I love you. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Let's have a giant Sunday. 10 minutes before kickoff. We've cashed for 4 weeks in a row, and we want more fucking money. More cash. Truckin' Six God, Said Champs, Canadian Capper, Ryan Garson, Jojo Ridge, Burgundy Bets, Walla Dose, Mr. Fung Monk, Gerald Jones, RazorSharpPicks, Andrew G, Viral Video, Dutch Boy, Fresh, Amsterdam, what else? Jared TG, Terry Walker, Nuke Worker, Mark Schillingberg, Mick G Motive, Jared JB, Zach Phillips, Dennis Garcia, Michael Robertson, Richard Gersberger. And Richard Gersberger saying 50 and sunny in Denver. I had 63 Fahrenheit when the game kicks off. Yeah, no, I like it. I like it. Michael Robinson, Broncos fail me routinely. I live 60 miles away and try to support Bridgewater, not even trying to slow down that interception. Oh, yeah, the Eagles interception. Tells you all you need to know. Fangio doesn't inspire. Well, I still have a little bit of time to think that over. All right, you guys, let's have one giant Sunday. One giant Sunday. Let's fucking go!